alcohol. It's why I get up in the morning. How my mom made it through her pregnancy. And why I'm not allowed within 50 feet of a horse. Booze is the most committed relationship I'll ever have. But some people know nothing about commitment.
Dry January, the challenge of giving up drinking for the first month of the year is growing in popularity.
Happy Dry January. It's the month where folks ditch the booze and go alcohol-free.
One report found that 25% of American adults completed Dry January last year.
A lot of people are going to be doing Dry January.
I have done Dry January every year now for 3 years.
Well, goody for you. It must be nice to have the luxury of giving up booze while the rest of us are trapped in reality. Wildfires, bird flu, crippling gambling debts. If you're not blacking out every single night, you're not paying attention.
TV Tan Podcast, episode 0521, celebrating the end of Dry January. It's finally over.
Wait a minute, man. When did it begin? That is my question.
It began on, probably began on January 1st. Yeah.
Are you sure?
It was like the second or third.
I don't observe it. I'm just saying, for some people.
Yeah,
people out there.
And I know certain people don't observe it, myself included, but the good news is this podcast, the only TV podcast that matters, is highly recommended by the Defense Secretary himself, Pete Hegseth.
Wow, that's a big get.
Pete Kegbreath? All right.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Did he say that after one of his swanky affairs where he had to be hauled out by the
like anyone's going to really fucking check at this point.
No.
Fact checking.
This is the TV Tan Podcast. I'm Bill Frost. Over there is Tommy Milagro, and joining us is special guest Steve Koonce, all the way from Idaho.
Yep, I flew in just for this.
Yeah.
How's it going, guys? Thank you so much for having me on the show today. I really appreciate it.
Hey,
and I said during Dry January I was dry curious, and I think I held up.
Good for you, yeah.
Okay, and, there's our title right there, Dry Curious.
Dry Curious, yeah. We're drinking some not necessarily only Five Wives. I got some Mattapaterini gin here. This is all from Ogden's Own Distillery up in Ogden.
And I've also got the Five Wives Moscow Mule Craft Cocktail in a can. If you want to take a screenshot of this here, Mr.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I guess I'm waiting for the package in the mail.
Yeah, it'll get there any day now.
And they also got some new can flavors. A Huckleberry Smash, which apparently
that sounds awesome.
Yeah,
Huckleberry, the state fruit of Idaho.
See, I should have brought some, but that's okay. We'll find a way to mail it out to you.
Tasty.
By the way, Steve here is the host of the Idaho Booze podcast. You can find it on Substack. Just look for Idaho Booze. And you got episodes going back to 2023.
No, 2024. No, not 2023. Yeah, we started in June, I think.
What's Friday night? What is Friday Night Pints then? Is that something different?
Oh yeah, Friday Night Pints is a column. I still write. Yeah. So Friday Night Pints is the column, and then the podcast is the Idaho Booze Podcast.
Okay.
Where we it's sort of branching out to be more regional. We did have Clay from Epic Brewing on just a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
To talk Big Bad Baptists, and anytime I can get my hands on any of those Big Bad Baptists, I'm going to do that. Obviously.
Oh yeah.
So actually, you know what? If we had a second, maybe I'll go and grab. I think I have one more can left. So
sure, why not?
Go grab one of those.
we got to make this official.
No, I get it. No, I know. Well, if I had any Five Guys or Five Wives stuff, I would for sure. Five Guys or Five Wives, either way, I would. I would do that.
Wait, I don't think
they make good stuff.
Has anybody thought of a pairing, Five Guys and Five Wives? I mean, it seems like a marketing opportunity waiting to happen right there.
Well, I think down there in Utah, the math doesn't work out for that. Right?
True, yeah.
We made the same joke at the same time. That's good
stuff. You need one guy burgers, yeah. And if you want to go grab something to drink, I highly encourage it. It helps with this. It helps with this thing here.
I will do that. I will do that. I know exactly what I'm going for too. The Big Bad Baptist.
We'll hold it down here for a second while you get that.
Sounds good. All right, hold on just 1 second. I'll be right back.
All right. Yeah, we're drinking all sorts of Ogden's own variety pack here, if you will, and we're doing this all remote. I am in the South Salt Lake studio. Tommy Milagro was in the satellite office.
Yeah, the Wejo office.
Yeah, West Jordan, and Steve's up in, I believe, Boise.
He's in one of the bunkers of Boise.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Boise bunker.
The Bunky
That's a tongue twister right there.
Yes. And the Grammys are going on right now. And
it is?
I don't know who's won anything, but the outfits are fucking stupid. So I'm just going by that. I think Ariana Grande is up for Best New Artist, even though she's like 6 albums in. So she's not necessarily a new artist.
But at the same time, is she like Best New Artist dealing with a theatrical release of a play? I mean, that's the only way I can make that Best New Artist label stick.
Sabrina Carpenter? All right.
Just outside Boise. I'm in the bunker. I'm in the bunker region of Boise. It's
okay.
Kind of an up and coming neighborhood. It's like when Bill moved to South Salt Lake.
Yeah.
So basically, you're bunker-ish. Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah. This is
nice.
The cinnamon roll one, so you can imagine why this one stayed in the fridge for a couple months and didn't make it out.
Okay.
So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah. All right.
If if I fall asleep or anything like that, just keep going.
We usually do.
If I go into like some sort of diabetic coma or something, just
there's probably a lot of sugar in that. Fine. A lot of now way back in the day, I don't remember exactly the year this spanned. Steve and I did the DABC video series about going to a different breweries. I don't think we ever got to a distillery.
Thank God. that might not have worked out great for us based on the brewery visits.
Yeah.
When was that? 2011 or something like that?
Maybe. Yeah.
I think we were the very first video podcast to ever be produced. My goal in life is to always come up with something that's at least 5 years ahead of what anyone else wants at the time.
Yeah, we went to Bohemian, we went to Squatters, we went to where else did we go? Epic, yes.
Epic was our first one. We went to Squatters, Bohemian. Let's see. There's not that many.
And I wasn't invited?
Right? Well, it must have got lost in the email. I remember specifically saying, hey, there's this guy Tommy that I don't know, but I think we should invite him.
Yeah, this predates the TV10 podcast by a few years. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if those are still available out there anywhere or not.
You know what? I just found the hard drives that they're on.
Oh.
And Apple did send me a note about 2 or 3 years ago that they had finally taken them down due to lack of anybody wanting to watch any of them.
Wow.
Which I thought was a little much. I mean, they didn't have to send that email. They could have just.
That's a little hurtful.
Yeah, it was like a whole paragraph. I don't really want to get into it.
Oh, bastards.
But yeah, it's actually I have the hard drives right here, and I can't open them because I have a PC now, and I shot everything on Mac, and this was back when they were before they got they were severed at the time.
Yeah,
which is a popular term that I'm sure you guys love to use on the show.
Severance, yes.
Yeah. So I have to do some macro data refinement and get those things back up and running. I'd love to see them. I mean, it's been, and then we could also remember what the other goddamn brewery that we did.
Yeah, I think
there were 2 Squatters episodes.
Yeah, we did a screening at Broovies once.
We did. That was awesome. Before Justified, right? Something like that.
Yeah, before one of the TV screenings. Yeah,
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah,
I was like, "Oh, look, Bill, it's us up on a giant screen. This was a great idea."
We shouldn't be on a giant screen. No,
should barely be on a small screen.
Yeah. So I'm gonna mention a couple things that are new this week, and I'll probably elaborate them on the TV10 Weekender. I just want to say Invincible is back on Friday on Prime Video. We're only on season 3, and this show seems like it's been going for, I don't know, since at least 2020.
At least.
Yeah.
it's just got layers upon layers upon layers. And this is also another great creation from Robert Kirkland, who was embedded in Image Comics, but he also got us The Walking Dead and just a few others to name. And in fact, Invincible, if you knew this or not, Steve, was originally drawn by local Utahn Ryan Otley out of Utah.
I knew about the image. I knew about the Image thing because I was a big, or still kind of am, a comic guy, and I remember that it had something to do with Image in some way. But no, I didn't know that Ryan Otley drew it. That's great.
And it still holds up, and it has some of the same style of artwork that Otley started, especially the blood. So much blood.
There's a lot of blood on that one, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, Prime Video is your home for grown up and hard R-rated superhero series for sure.
Mm-hmm.
If everything goes okay, if you want to have me back for The Boys, I'd be more than happy to talk about that.
For sure, yeah.
Fucking amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
That's like, for any of us that were like comic book nerds or whatever when we were kids, like that Boys show, it's like chef's kiss. Like the very first scene of the Flash running through a lady while he's drunk. Fantastic. And I got to check it out. You know what? I'm going to get on this Invincible too. My brother watches it. He really likes it. So I'll have to check that out.
If you like The Boys, you'll probably like this too.
Yeah.
Now,
lots of blood.
True. Yeah.
So
Steve reached out on the socials. I can't remember which one because I'm on all of them except for TikTok.
It wasn't on TikTok. I did send you a lot of TikTok videos, but that was besides the point.
Yeah, you wanted to voice your opinions about Landman, and I think you mentioned one other show. Which was that? Do you remember?
Oh, what did I say? What was the other one I wanted to talk about? I do remember. It was Landman and shit. No, I can't remember. Let me check my notes. I'll check the notes and we'll see what it was.
Yeah,
so,
Landman.
Would it be safe to assume it was all on Sheridan Plus, and by Sheridan Plus I mean Paramount Plus?
Yeah, it would be safe to assume that it was after a couple soda pops at night that I reached out to Bill. That would be the safest thing to assume.
Yeah, we talked a lot about Landman during its run. Now the whole thing is available on Paramount Plus. You can watch the whole 8-10 episodes, whatever it was.
I think it was 8.
Yeah, and we all agree that without Billy Bob, this would be the worst show in the world.
Yeah.
Solid point. And it actually, it's not just this one either. They took Taylor Sheridan. He's probably a really smart guy. He's not a great writer, especially when it comes to writing for female leads.
Yeah.
His writing for females is cringy at best. And there's just the scene. I think when I reached out to you, there was a scene where Allie Larder was doing something. She was cooking or something like that, and she was talking about how it was so nice to be around family, and it's just a terrible Texan accent, which I appreciate. Half my family's from there, so I appreciate a good bad Texan accent.
Yeah.
But hers was real bad, and she was talking about how great it was to be close to family and everything. And then she told it in the next scene at the country club, she told her daughter that she should be sucking more dick if she wants to be popular with the boys. I think that was the scene where I reached out to Bill and I was like, I want to talk about this show.
Also, she's probably not wrong.
Yeah.
Nope. Hey, the logic is not flawed.
Yeah.
And the delivery,
I just wish I'd gone to high school in Texas.
Well, two things to your point there, Steve, and I know everyone gives flack for Larder's character, but Billy Bob Thornton, God bless him, he was like, yeah, there are people in Texas that act like that. I can attest to that point. So it's not that hard of a stretch right there. But the other part is this. Yeah, Taylor Sheridan, probably not a good writer. Kurt Sutter, that's a different story. But at the same time, as far as cringy writers go, at least he's not Neil Gaiman. Tell me when I'm telling lies, everybody.
Yeah.
You're probably going, what?
Neil Gaiman reminds me of like a football player who gets drafted early in the first round and goes out there and immediately takes a dump on the field. And it seems like he does it over and over and over again. Shows keep pumping him up and keep prodding him out there. And it's like, it's the newest Neil Gaiman thing. He's a genius. What was his big, he did, whatever his big thing was that he did.
American Gods.
Yeah. That's what it was. American Gods.
Yeah.
But all that's going to be on hold for a while. So I just heard, and you probably have this in your news, Bill, they canceled Sandman and any other project involving Neil Gaiman, such as Good Omens and probably American Gods, but nobody watched.
American Gods has been gone for a long time.
Exactly.
Sort of a one-trick pony.
Well, it's not so much that. It's
a two-season pony, really.
Two-season pony.
Yeah,
which is now what, like 12
the
episodes?
Cringy sexual abuse stuff, that's kind of what did it for everybody. Oh, you didn't hear
Gaiman get
that.
canceled? Is Gaiman canceled?
Yeah.
Oh, good times.
8 times.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about that part.
I mean, not great for him, but great. Like, we don't have to slog through anymore. There's a couple of guys that just do this. They do kind of the same thing over. And Ryan Murphy is probably the most famous, I think the most famous for, because Ryan Murphy, he just puts out the same thing. I mean, and it's usually good. That's the problem with Ryan Murphy.
Well, he has two different.
Sometimes it's good.
He has two different versions. I don't know if you've ever watched 911. It's probably the most earnest, straight ahead, white bread police procedural. Yeah. It's like even all the movie, all the music in the background is like painfully on point. And so he does that stuff, and then he does the grotesquerie and American Horror kind of stuff.
So and the stuff he does for FX is usually like kind of cool. Like even that Versace thing, which was like probably an episode too long, or maybe 2 episodes too long. It was still like good. I watched it every week or whenever it was on. He just does, and American Horror Story. Those are usually really cool. We used to watch those at Broovies. How long has that goddamn show been on?
I think we did. I think we did the first season at Broovies.
Yeah, you sure did. Yeah, it was that, and Justified, and we were there for Mad Men. It was Mad Men. Right?
Oh, and don't forget Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah. Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And Breaking Bad.
And Breaking Bad. That's right, Breaking Bad. Yeah. And so these guys and I think with these guys, it's like, and I think with 911 in particular, I think it's like Kevin Williamson back in the day. He made a couple of good movies. He did like Scream and Scream 2 and everything. And then he just started slapping his name on shit. Like, it's just like, yeah, this is Kevin Williamson, whatever. I think that's what 911 is. It's just like, if you can wet your beak a little bit with CBS money, you're going to take that money. I mean, that's a good amount of money. And those ratings are solid.
And to prove your point, Taylor Sheridan. So
he's already at Paramount.
The other one, Dr. Odyssey, is just insane.
The name right away, you're like,
I mean, it's basically he's House on a cruise yacht, a cruise ship.
Oh, the one with Pacey. Oh, right.
Yeah,
right.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Pacey.
No, I did not catch that episode. How was it? Was it good?
I don't watch the show. I did watch one episode to where there's going to be a wedding on the ship, and but then the groom somehow fell overboard, lost forever. Is all sad, and they had a whole memorial for him and everything, and then some of the crew and Pacey, the captain, or he's not the captain, he's the doctor. They all go down to the galley and start chowing into the wedding cake because, well, they're not going to use it.
No one's using this wedding cake.
Yeah,
and doctors are notorious for just going into a wedding cake and eating.
Yeah,
there's no tomorrow.
Like you do.
Yeah, and then,
doctors love wedding cake and pizza. Those are two.
And that episode ended in a 3-way, and so
crazy.
Yeah. That's the one episode I saw of Dr. Odyssey.
So you might want to send me that. I'll check that out. I like wedding cakes in 3-ways. Like, who doesn't?
Yeah, just check it out on
American Man.
It's on the Hulu. You can check it out there.
Oh, the Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the Hulu. So the other show I wanted to talk about, if we can get to it, is American Primeval. Did you guys watch that one?
I've heard of it.
I've seen some of it. I know the Mormons aren't happy with it.
Oh yeah, you can't imagine why. It's just like this. God, speaking of bloody, I mean, the whole show is just nonstop action and fighting. And there's it's a Peter Berg and all of his little huggy bookies are there. He's got Taylor Kitsch. He's got that one dude from what was that, Boardwalk Empire. He's got that guy. He's got
Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, Sons of Anarchy. That's
right. He plays Brigham Young.
Yeah.
No, well, that guy too. The Brigham Young guy, and then he also has the other guy who plays Jim Bridger. Who he's had in a bunch of other stuff too.
Right.
So like, and Taylor Kitsch is amazing. He's spoiler alert. He's half Indian.
Okay.
Like he's 6'5".
Sure.
Same complexion as me, black hair, and he's half Indian. And because he's half Indian, he has these superpowers where he can jump around and kill people without really any sort of. He gets stabbed, I think, 12 times in this show, and just he's fine. It's 1847. Like he's strapping like some salt and some rosemary on there and calling it a day. It's just like the most ridiculous. I love Peter Berg, and I did like this show. Like I liked watching it. It was a good show to watch. And then there was the Mormon thing, where they just basically just do the I forget what the Mormon Massacre, is that what they called it?
Yeah.
The
so Mountain Meadow Massacre.
Yeah. And so they just did that. That was just on TV, like, and they just like, and they had like, I don't know, 1847 version of KKK masks on. It just was not a good look for our friends the Mormons. It was a rough go for them.
Well, let's be honest. The church has always had a bit of a PR problem for a while now, and they've tried to be, I know, hard to believe everybody.
Yeah. Well, on Saturday this weekend, we had some hooded Nazis marching in Harriman, and a lot of the speculation was they're wearing masks because they got to go to church the next day, and they don't want to be spotted. The Patriot Front in Harriman.
Really,
you can't be at the break, whatever that sports bar. You can't be hanging out with your sports bar in Daybreak one day and then marching with KKK people the next, and then hitting up church on Sunday. That's just, you can't. It's just not good for the look there in Daybreak. Like you want to keep up appearances.
And I'm not that far away from the Sojo area, so
is that what they're doing with it now? Is it called Sojo?
We're trying to make it happen.
I think it's good so far. I think it's gonna
catch on just as well as Sosala did here in South Salt Lake.
Right. And don't even get me started on Weejo. So
Weejo.
I kind of like Weejo. I'm actually in on Weejo. I used to call Taylorsville T-Rock for no reason.
Nice.
Just put a rock on the end of it.
Nice.
But people knew what I was talking about when I would say it. I don't know. I just thought it was funny.
So besides Landman, which you powered through, and the other one, what are you liking? What are you liking that you're watching? Anything anything we might not know about?
I mean, I doubt it. You guys are pretty exhaustive in your research.
I think the word is exhausting.
Yeah, thank you.
I like old Seinfeld episodes. Those are good.
Okay. They hold up.
They hold up. What else have I been watching recently? Yeah, American Primeval was the one that I just knocked out just recently. And Landman. And I'm just I kind of bounce around. I want to watch like, oh, you know what? I like that one that's on. Severance is amazing.
Yes,
like Severance right now is like taking up my whole life. Like honestly, like I go on to like TikTok or Facebook Reels or whatever, and I'm scrolling through all the girls dancing just to get to people talking about Severance theories.
Yeah.
Hot chick.
It's on point right there.
We got all the goats. We got a whole room full of goats.
Can we talk about the last episode? You guys watched the last episode?
I have. Yeah.
So can we talk about it? Because I do have some things that I have one huge question. So this is something I haven't seen anyone talk about in my lots of scrolling that I've done. That guy that was with Helena when Kobolvig comes back, and that guy that's with her freaks her the fuck out, right?
Yeah.
Like she sees that guy and she has never been timid around Helena at all. In fact, she called her a Nepo baby, like earlier in that episode.
Yeah.
So
I'm not sure what's up with that guy.
So if you look, God, this is so rough. So if you look at some of the old stuff of some of the old like the Lumen people, what's their last name?
The Luminite,
Kier and Kier and Egan's, the Egans.
Okay. Yeah.
There's one guy that's in the Hall of CEOs or whatever that has that guy's kind of same face, like that kind of Easter Island face that guy has.
All right.
And I don't know, but it seemed to me like that's what she got freaked the fuck out by that guy.
Yeah,
It really freaked her out. I mean, it wasn't Helena. She doesn't care about her at all. So like that's like another mystery that nobody's really talking about. Like there's this guy, and I think he's a reincarnated Egan or something. I think that's what the board is.
That could be.
Well, here's my theory at this point, because this show, which was created by Ben Stiller, in my opinion, he's cribbing from the Lost playbook. He's just giving enough of a mystery just to get people to tune in week after week after week. However, the only difference is with this last season and this season of Severance, unlike Lost, it actually has a plot. So therefore, it's going in a direction. But not many, in my opinion, not many people are used to sitting around and waiting. They're like, why is it not? Why can't I fast forward to the next episode? Well, I get it. Just be patient. Okay?
Well, I'm just happy for the surviving members of the Stone Roses because they got a big musical drop, and for a song that was not a hit, it was a good song. Love Spirals, big shout out.
It's a good song.
It was.
I did notice this. I did notice this because I subscribe to Apple because Apple is my overlords. I've noticed that if you're watching on Apple Plus, and if you go to I think it's called the Insights, if you see a song that's playing like Stone Roses, like you could add that on to your Apple playlist.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I think Amazon might have a similar thing too, where you can do that.
Yeah.
So that is, I like that. And just to get back to the Lost thing, I think Lost was kind of, I just watched this movie, The Substance. You guys seen that one? That thing is something else. Anyway, so Lost sort of suffers the same thing where like I think they only planned it out for 4 seasons. They were like, we're going to do 4 seasons, but also back then they had to do like 24 episodes.
Yes,
so it was like a lot of content. And so like I think with this Severance with this guy Dan Erickson and Ben Stiller, they've been able to take kind of the lessons from Lost and tighten it up. Like
fewer episodes, and there's no way you're going to get a 10-season show on Apple TV Plus.
Exactly. Less is more. Less is more, kids. Are you listening, Joe Rogan?
I hope so.
I don't think so.
But that's the thing I like about Apple TV Plus shows in general is they spend a lot of money on like 1 or 2 stars, and then they don't spend any money really anywhere else. Like Shrinking is a great example. They have Harrison fucking Ford, and they have Jason Segel, and they have that lady from Scrubs, and everyone, and it's like, and that other lady, the tall lady from Daily Show, and it's just like they have 3 sets. They have the Hollywood Hills where they walk. They have his house. They have the neighbor's house. They have the office. That's it.
Yeah,
and that's all. And what do they have for Severance? It's basically an office floor.
Yeah.
Now the goat room.
Yeah.
And then you have his house and his sister's house, and then
don't forget, don't forget, you also have Defiant Jazz, so you cannot sleep on the Defiant Jazz, folks.
That's a good point. And then Amazon does the exact opposite, right? Like they spend a ton of money on all the stuff, like it's on the screen, like boys and but no money on actors, 0 actors, anything they ever put out, right? But that's where I'm kind of confused too. Now I'm trying to find new shows to watch since Primeval's gone. We have Severance, and have you guys watched some of these weird Night Agent or The Recruit? It's always something weird like that, where you don't know quite what the show, Night Agent, what is that about? That could be anything, right?
He's an agent.
I'm watching it. He's an agent of the night now, and and I am noticing this as well since you brought up Night Agent and The Recruit, and I'll even throw in Reacher. It's that whole genre of these loners who are just super agents, and they solve crime as they wander from town to town. Night Agent,
I would bring up The Lincoln Lawyer, which is basically just a network show on Netflix.
Yeah. My wife was watching that the other day, and she was kind of just charging through all the episodes. She was just going through all of them. And I came in during, I think, episode 1, left, came back, and it was like episode 5. I was like, "This is still happening?
Yeah.
Like, is he just driving around in the car? Like, what's going on with this?"
Yeah, you gotta get your money worth out of that car. But,
seriously, well, man, those Lincolns are.
Yeah,
pricey.
but that show in particular, you could put it on CBS and no one would notice.
Totally. And then on the opposite ends of that, you have the Gary Oldman show, where he's got no superpowers at all.
Slow horses.
Yeah, slow horses. His liver seems to be the only thing that's really super about him.
Yes.
And he's just, and it's the exact, and the one guy that's supposed to be like the hot shit is just a fuck up, right? He just fucks up all the time.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing show.
Steve, it's not really a superpower. He's just British. That's the key there.
Solid point. Yeah, old British guys never die. That is a good point. Yeah,
exactly.
Good point.
Cheers to everybody over in the pond.
Yeah, way to go.
Speaking of a weird show that I'd never heard of that I just came into my awareness, it's on Prime Video. I think it was a Freevee show, but now Freevee has been absorbed into Prime Video as it should be. It's called the Pradeeps of Pittsburgh. It's about an Indian family who moves to Pittsburgh. The husband, played by, speaking of Lost, Naveen Andrews?
Party of Five guy? Oh, that guy. Saeed.
Yeah, Saeed. Yeah. So he's on here, and also in here is Ethan Suplee from My Name Is Earl, and
is he skinny? Is he Ozempic?
He's
Ozempic Ethan Suplee.
Well, as small as he can be. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's still a big dude.
Mallrats. It's a sailboat.
Yeah, and it's about this Indian family who moves to Pittsburgh. He supposedly has a contract with SpaceX, but that's not going so well. And also his wife is a doctor who can't get a license in the United States, so she's all kinds of pissed off. The kids are all sorts of different stages of rebellion, and the story is told from various points of view of the people within people in the neighborhood, and it's just fucking hilarious. And I never even heard of this thing until Mrs. Frost stumbled across it last night. And it's on Prime Video. It's called the Pradeeps of Pittsburgh. I don't know much else about it yet. I haven't really looked into it, but it's a really damn funny show that I've never even heard of.
I'll watch it. I'll check that out tonight. All I've really been watching is old episodes of Reno 911. So, I'll check.
you can never go wrong with Reno 911 episodes.
Hey, I found it on my I don't know, one of the subscriptions we have on Amazon. I was like, oh, okay, all the Comedy Central shows are here.
Yeah, if you ever venture into the live channels on Prime Video, there's like thousands of them in there. And you'll have a channel just dedicated to Reno 911. There's a couple dedicated to a Mystery Science Theater. It's just every once in a while I fall down the hole of rewatching Weeds on one of those channels. Just come in randomly in like season 3.
I think you and Mrs. Koonce have a lot more in common with your TV watching. I think she loves that show. She really, when that show was on, we watched that every week. And I was always like, it's the same show every week. But it was funny.
Nancy Botwin, Mother of the Year.
How come they haven't done like with Weeds what they did with Dexter? How come we haven't seen the young
There's been some talk of reviving Weeds in some fashion, but nothing's happened with it. But meanwhile, we've got the expansive Dexter multiverse happening right here, because we have the currently Original Sin, we have Resurrection coming this summer with Michael C. Hall back in the saddle. And I think there's another one out there. I think the other one they're going to keep doing New Blood with the son of Dexter. I think they're going to keep that going. So we got plenty of Dexter. We could get Weeds next, maybe even Californication.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a nice segment of society of women 40 to 55, you will have people watching serial killers on TV.
Well, this would be the serial killer to watch because he's doing a good service.
Yeah.
Oh, right. He's taking care of the trash.
That are douchebags.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we don't know that's what the son is going to do. And plus, he's up in Alaska or something, right? So
I mean, he's already killed his dad.
Did he take off? Is he in LA?
Yeah.
now?
Oh,
Yeah.
spoiler alert.
That'll be good. Is any word Michael C. Hall gets to be in the younger show? Any word on if his ex-wife is going to be there as his sister? Is she going to?
I don't know. I don't know.
He does voiceover work for Original Sin as the Dark Passenger, but beyond that...
Oh, they hired a new actor.
Yeah. And this kid is spot on, like what Michael C. Hall would have looked like at that age.
I want to say my favorite part of Dexter Original Sin is actually the music, because it's set in the 90s. And the most recent episode got treated to an extended cut of Rico Suave.
Nice. Oh, so it's just the good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's 90s centric here, kids.
All right. You know what? Mark it down right next to the Pittsburgh show. Yeah.
Part of the...
My wife likes Dexter, so...
The long and storied career of Gerardo. I mean, all of the many, many hits that came after Rico Suave, like...
so many.
So many.
I'm not even looking it up right now.
Well, I'll tell you this, because I watched the docu-series, The Defiant Ones, like when Jimmy Iovine was trying to start up Interscope, he signed on Gerardo, and that's what funded everything for Interscope, from Primus to 9 Inch Nails to everything under the sun, including Death Row.
You mean they didn't make any money on Primus? That's hard to believe.
No, they did make
Sailing
money
the seas
from
of cheese.
Like everything fits.
They got my money.
Yeah,
I bought lots of Primus albums.
Oh yeah. Back in the 90s, early 2000s, Primus played here so often. I thought they were a local band. I had no idea. They were like in town every week.
They're adopted now. I think they are.
They could be.
I heard my brother-in-law was talking about that one time. We were listening to something. He's like, we used to see him like every month.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
opening for somebody.
Us, that was when I was growing up in Washington. That was Blink-182. For some reason they came all the time.
That's
Blink-182. And
that's our other adopted band of Utah.
Yeah.
So.
Blink. Yeah, because they would have gone through like Spokane and then down to you guys, right?
Yeah.
So Steve, I don't know if you've listened to the podcast, but we have a very important sports segment we do every week here. God, it's about America's only. It's all about America's only real sport, professional wrestling. So I think if Tommy is prepared with his report for the week,
I have. So please hit my music.
It's sports with Tommy Milagro. Go team!
From the sports desk of the TV10 podcast, we deliver to you only the sport of professional wrestling, Royal Rumble edition, and what a week it was here. So yesterday, WWE held their Royal Rumble in Indianapolis, Indiana. I did the recap. I write about pro wrestling for slamwrestling.net, Steve. I mean, I only have an MBA.
Of course I know that. Are you kidding me? I'm on there.
Yeah, you're supposed to drink every time Tommy mentioned that he has an MBA.
Okay.
Along with Slam Wrestling. So,
either way,
it's going to be brutal here, folks. But here's the big deals that came out of Royal Rumble. For the Women's Rumble, Charlotte Flair returned to the ring after a year-long hiatus, repairing her ACL. Other surprise entrants were Trish Stratus, and also we got to see Alexa Bliss, who has not been in the
Finally.
WWE. Yeah. So apparently there have been some contract issues. Guess they worked it out. And the last entrant was Nikki Bella, because, well, that show that she's on, The Traitors on Peacock, isn't going to sell by itself, nor is it going to sell by the name of Nikki Garcia.
Yeah,
I kind of like that show. Show,
you're
actually.
You're the one.
It's a very popular show. It's probably one of the biggest shows on Peacock, really.
Yeah, well, that's saying something.
Yeah.
Exactly. Anyway.
Basically like NBC.
Anyway, Charlotte Flair won the Rumble, so she is guaranteed a spot at a main event championship at WrestleMania, which will be held in Las Vegas. More on that as that's coming up, but the other big surprise out of the men's Royal Rumble, the big ones were John Cena entered for the first time in a long time. This is the start of his retirement tour, and he came out in ring gear that reflected the Indianapolis Colts fans, with the towel that said The last time is now. And
so
again,
it wasn't in full Peacemaker garb?
No, he didn't.
That's the way I would have gone. Did he have a dance?
No, he did not have a dance. However, it is going to be a long year for many reasons. So stay tuned on that as that develops there. But the other big things that came out of the Men's Rumble was WWE has a partnership now with Total Nonstop Action Wrestling. So a couple of their wrestlers, like TNA champion Joe Hendry, made his debut in the Rumble as well. Didn't last long, but still was a lot of fun to see, and a lot of people just cheered loudly for that. But at the end, it was John Cena and the main event, Jey Uso, one half of the Usos, battling it out for that spot. John Cena almost defeated Jey, but he scrambled out, pushed John Cena off, and the main event, Jey Uso, is now got a shot at WrestleMania. Nobody saw that coming, so I guess because his whole word is yeet, so kids were yeeting about that. Please don't ask me what that word means. I really don't know.
Totally.
Google it.
It's mid. Yeah.
Yeah. But there were some other things that came out of WrestleMania, Royal Rumble weekend. They also announced on the show that WWE is going to be having 2 shows come up. One is called LFG, which will be on A&E. So basically, it's just a rebranded Tough Enough, and it's going to have wrestlers from the past like The Undertaker, Bubba Ray Dudley, just to name a few, coaching the newest brand of WWE superstars. But the other big thing is they're also premiering a new show called WWE Evolve that'll be on March 8th on Tubi, of all places, every Wednesday night. That's produced by Gabe Sapolsky, who is one of the Booker agents from back in the day for Ring of Honor and the original version of Evolve. I actually interviewed him for SlamWrestling.net, not just because I have an MBA, but still, yeah. Like I said, your livers are not going to be happy about this. But
did your MBA get you into that interview?
What's that?
Did you get into the interview using your MBA? Did you say, "I have an MBA, let me in"? Almost like a pass.
He was a little daunted by that at first, but we managed to smooth it out. Good. It's so hard being me some days. But also for things that are kind of sort of WWE related, Dark Side of the Ring is going to be premiering its next season this Tuesday, March 15th on Vice, and they've released what their subject matters are going to be involving. So among the names involved, it'll be Tony Atlas, superstar Billy Graham, Billy Jack Haynes, the original Sheik, Vader, as well as Hell in the Cell. And this is season 6 of Dark Side of the Ring.
Have we done Disco Inferno yet?
There's probably a good reason why not. So you just answered it for us. Unless he does something really stupid in the next few weeks, which he does a podcast as well. So, the odds of him doing that are 50-50. Let's not lie.
Is it the Disco Inferno show?
Let's hope he doesn't get gamined.
No. He co-hosts. He's more of a chucklehead than I am. So what I'm saying to you, Bill, is you're welcome.
Okay. I was Steve's chucklehead on the YouTube show, on the video show we did.
That was his role.
We are a conglomeration of chuckleheads.
Yes.
I'm cool with it.
In life, right. I think that's my...
Yeah. Maybe we can make that into an LLC, but I digress. Anyway, if I could be serious for a moment, there is some latest updates on Vince McMahon. He's had a little bit of trouble with certain people. He got past the SEC. He paid a fine. However, the suit against former WWE employee Janelle Grant has taken an interesting turn. The attorneys for Janelle Grant amended their case against Vince McMahon, among others, John Laurinaitis and Brock Lesnar, with new evidence that McMahon treated Miss Grant as a commodity, so sexual abuse, and offer to other men. And noted in the amended suit, McMahon offered Miss Grant to WWE superstar Brock Lesnar for a sexual encounter during his formal negotiation of a new contract with WWE, and McMahon ordered Miss Grant to send Lesnar sexually explicit content of herself. So I'm prepping for this amount of ick because this is, number one, this is not over yet by a long shot. And despite McMahon's lawyers going, oh, we're going to defend against these baseless claims, blah, blah, blah.
And if you think that's bad, you should wait till you hear about what he did to his own daughter, to Triple H.
Oh, okay. Is this I'm being serious right now because I am a journalist of some stripe. Like, is this founded in fact here?
Well, wasn't she married to him?
Stephanie is married to Triple H, who is now the chief content officer
he's in charge of everything.
Of WWE. Yeah.
No,
so
no.
But,
there's no fact at all in anything I say.
Okay. I was going to say, please don't get me in trouble. I mean, my lawyers do enough with me as is. But finally this, and I prepped the ick because of this reason. Jake Paul and Logan Paul ended...
Paul.
Yeah. Yeah, you better take a drink of the genius juice here, boys, because I'm going to say this here. Jake Paul and Logan Paul ended speculation they'd be squaring off in the boxing ring. The brothers on Thursday announced they'll be launching... Hang on, I need to take a drink of this as well, because I can't say it with a straight face.
Do you want us to fill?
They'll be launching a family reality series, Paul American, starting March 27th on HBO Max. The 8-episode series will be culminating with a season finale on May 15th. And this is from USA Today, so, this fits that it should be them doing this instead of SlamWrestling.net. Everyone thinks that they know Jake and Logan Paul. They're the original superstars of influencer culture and built their brand on being unfiltered. So, parents, this is who you need to blame. But Paul American goes deeper, says Nina Rosenstein, Executive VP of HBO Programming, Late Night and Specials. This show uncovers a side of their relationships we've never seen as brothers, sons, partners, as well as Logan's transition into fatherhood. It's a raw and an unexpected look into their world. So basically what we're saying is we don't always do this here at TV Tan Podcast, but especially here at the Sports Desk. We will tell you, if you have anything better to do on Thursday night, it is not this show. Because unlike everything else I have told you folks, this show is not sports.
Yeah. It's sports with Tommy Milagro. Go team.
The worst part about that whole thing is that I had to give up HBO Max. I had to give up Max for Tubi.
Oh.
It just didn't work out in the budget. So I got.
Well, since Tubi's free, yeah.
It's a tight budget around here.
Yeah.
Hey, Tubi has got some good shit lately, and we've talked about it before. So, WWE Evolve is going to be coming up soon. So. You'll be fine.
How are you finding the wrestling on Netflix?
For us, it comes on earlier than it used to on cable. We don't have to wait till 10 o'clock. It
comes on live.
Live at 6 Mountain Time. So that's good.
And the other thing about it is it's the same as before. Oh, and that's the one last thing I forgot to mention here. Raw on Netflix sees a massive drop. And apparently the excitement about moving to Netflix worn off. So, and take this however you want to. This is from SlamWrestling.net. Although the show was 7th in Netflix's top 10 rankings for the week, the show brought in 3 million global viewers and 6,600,000 overall views. Now, they debuted to an audience of 5.9 million. But then the following week, that number dropped off to 3.7 million. So it's like a 700.
But this is what Netflix does, though, right? Like they got wrestling. They made a huge deal out of it. I know every time I turned on Netflix, there it was, and now it's not on there. They don't have it on the front page. They're not promoting it as much as they do, right?
And here's the other thing, because the Royal Rumble thing, I tried looking for it on Netflix, nowhere to be found. I had to go to Peacock, or as we say, I had to flock to the cock just to get my Royal Rumble fix.
Do we all get a turn to make a Peacock joke just really quick?
Sure.
Please. You have a way to
Rainbow cock is what we call it here in our house.
All right. Well,
the cock is pretty good though. I like.
Yeah. Speaking of lesser important sports, the Super Bowl is next weekend. On
Let's
Fox
go.
and also on Tubi.
Tubi got it.
Well,
wow.
Fox owns Tubi. So NBC has their Peacock streaming counterpart. CBS has Paramount Plus. NBC has Peacock. Fox has Tubi. And yeah, I know. Yeah. So you could watch it on good old Fox TV, or you could watch it on Tubi. Maybe you'll watch both.
So I have a question though, Bill. Is that going to interfere with the showing of the Superb Owl show? I mean, the Superb Owl is an important event.
We're getting some deep "What We Do in the Shadows" jokes coming back here.
I'm here for it.
It probably works better if I do it in the Matt Berry voice. Look, the Superb Owl is definitely a tremendous event.
And I might check it out. I think I can set aside my long-standing beef with Kendrick Lamar long enough to check out the halftime show.
Oh, Bill, you don't want that beef. That is not beef for you, buddy.
Yeah,
it's one of his.
I know both of you a little bit. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, it's one of his lesser beefs. You know, he's got a whole bunch of them, but I'm down near the bottom of the stack of the beefs.
It's probably a good place to be.
We're still in there, and SZA will be there as well, and of course we'll have the Puppy Bowl.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm very excited to hear Kendrick Lamar call Drake a pedophile on the Super Bowl.
I think we all are.
Yeah, I'm very excited for it, and I just it's one of those things that it probably the first time in 5 years where I'll actually pay attention to the halftime show.
I personally think, especially after everything from January 20th, Kendrick Lamar's got a list, and he's going to be dropping some names, and if your name's on the list, you're done.
You don't want to be that list. That might be worse than the Neil Gaiman list. I'd much rather be on the Neil Gaiman list than on the Kendrick Lamar list. I mean, if he drops that A minor line during the Super Bowl, I'm going to lose it, and I just think I'm just here for it. I think it's funny. I enjoy it, and Kendrick, God bless you. Good luck with that. I think it's going to be awesome.
Oh, I can't wait for this.
So it's about time to get out of here. So, if there's anything you want to tell people, you should be watching this. I'm going to reiterate the Pradeeps of Pittsburgh. That is Pradeeps of Pittsburgh. Very funny little comedy. It's on Prime Video. You can watch it there. I think it's about 8 episodes. Very funny show. Anything you would recommend to the people, Steve, that you haven't mentioned already?
Yes. I would say either the Night Agent or the Recruit or the Night Recruit or the Daily Agent. Those are all great. I like those. Yes. They're a lot of fun. I like that show where Dee plays Monk. That's a fun show to watch if you're bored on a Saturday or something.
High Potential.
High Potential. And if you haven't checked it out yet, I would say check out American Primeval. And maybe just don't let the kids or your wife or your husband or whoever is in the house that's like,
the editorials have been flying. The editorials have been flying fast and furiously here around the Deseret News and KSL about how they just got it all wrong.
Two things you don't want to mention to our lovely neighbors to the north there is one, the Mormon, the whatever that massacre is, and two, how all BYU football players are 25-year-old sophomores. There's 2 things you don't want to talk about.
Well, to be fair,
they don't even train.
To be fair, Steve, in this new era of NIL, like BYU doesn't have that market cornered anymore. I mean, seriously, and I can say this because the University of Utah had a 7-year-old player in Cam Rising.
Oh, Rising, yeah.
7 fucking
He moved like it,
years.
too. He's out there on one leg running around. But yeah, then I would also say, if you have time, check out my podcast. It's the Idaho Booze Podcast. It's on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and Substack. You can subscribe to my Substack, and you'll get all of my writings and musings as well as the podcast delivered straight to your email box right now, free of charge. So
that's how to sell
Check it out. idahobooze.substack.com.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having me on today, guys.
Hey, thanks for coming on. And we want to thank our sponsor for the week, Ogden's Own Distillery, and please rattle off all of our other sponsors. Tommy?
Well, as I'm finishing up the Five Wives Moscow Mule Craft Cocktail, and Mr. Frost is enjoying a little Madame Patarini gin here. Mm-hmm. Another secret that the Mormon Church doesn't want you to know about.
I do like that gin. That is a good gin.
Yeah. Oh, and the history behind it's even better. But you know what's bottle. You want some great bottles here, Steve? Let me tell you about our good friends at Sugar House Distillery. They got some great bottles of bourbon, vodka, rum. They even got craft cocktail cans as well there too. Then if you're ever in the Midvale/Sandy area, check out Outlaw Distillery. They've got bourbon, they've got rum, they've even got some vodka too. They've even got some coffee beans that they paired up with a local brewer. So that's something to check out too. But also, if you need some beer, because we like beer, we all like beer. You should also check out Bohemian Brewery, and also in the Midvale area. Then, of course, Mr. Frost is a big fan of the Cerveza.
Yep.
The only the Sir.
I'm a Pilsner guy.
Vesa.
I go Bohemian Pilsner. I go hard Bohemian Pilsner.
There you go. That's another good one, too. But if you are ever in the Salt Lake area and you need something to mix up with your drinks or just put a container and pair it up with a drink, visit our good friend Ivy at Booze Teak in downtown Salt Lake. She's got the glassware. She's got the stuff to mix. She's even got non-alcoholic drinks. Don't judge. And it's all right. So for those,
we're very inclusive over at the Idaho Booze Podcast. We'll have anybody.
Okay, then maybe we should. We'll send a care package along your way somehow. We'll work it out.
Yeah, and then those are all. I will say, as a former resident of Salt Lake and of Sandvale, which is what we call the Sandy Midvale area, that all those places are awesome. Yeah, Outlaw is amazing. Sugar House. I mean, that bourbon that's a great bourbon. That's
yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm glad we're making you thirsty for home. And, of course...
Over here at the Idaho Booze Podcast, we're always thirsty. It's not a problem.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what you need? You also need a great T-shirt to pair up with all these. Might I recommend the TV10 Podcast T-shirt? Still got them available. Only $10. There's in limited supply. Just send us an email, tv10podcast@gmail.com. Give us your name, your address, your shirt size. We take PayPal or Venmo. No, not crypto, no matter what Muskie says. And just be sure to put in the subject line, T-shirt me now. And that is how we do things here. And see, you don't need 4 hours, Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Also, reach out to us on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, even Twitter. And where else are we at? We're not on TikTok. I got to mention that. And all TV10 Podcast. We're on all those things. And we had some extra votes for keeping the TV10 Weekender, which is a supplemental 10-minute episode that I do later in the week to remind people who are drinking so hard when they're listening to the show the first time that they forgot what we told them about. So I just kind of let them know again what's on. Yeah.
That's perfect.
Because we're nice.
I like that. Like we get that a lot over here too. Like it's a lot of the first half of your show was amazing.
Mm-hmm. And then we don't know what happened after that. All right.
I'm like, thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
All right. And on that note, say good night, Steve. Say good night to the people.
Good night, people. Thank you so much for having me on. It's great to reconnect with my Salt Lake friends.
Yeah.
And I will hopefully check out the podcast. If not, that's fine too. And thanks again for having me on. I really appreciate it. It's great to see you guys.
All right.
No problem. We're glad to have you here. And hey, Steve, please jiggle that handle. It's time to flush.
I forgot to say Good Night America, but now I just did, so we're good. All right.
You got it in there.
Now, I get it, some of you don't like fun, but if you're out with your dipshit friends and you can't drink booze, surely there must be something you can drink.
During dry January, people sip on mocktails, cocktails without any alcohol content.
There are great non-alcoholic wines, beers, and spirits that are on the market today.
Global sales of no and low alcohol products reaching more than $13 billion last year.
Companies are cashing in too. Stars releasing non-alcoholic products like Katy Perry's booze-free beverage line, Des Soirs.
A great time.
And Tom Holland's non-alcoholic beer company, Bureau.
This is from Proxies. This is their bubbly rosé.
Could you add alcohol if you wanted to?
You could, you could.
Wowee! An alcohol-free drink that you can add alcohol to. If only Thomas Edison were alive to see this. Look, if I ever order an elderberry hibiscus fizz, be sure to garnish it with a loaded gun. These drinks sound almost as fun as getting an enema, which, by the way, you can also add alcohol to. It's called boofing. Google it!